Why, that big-nosed busybody?
But it's true, darling. 15 years married without a honeymoon? Why, it's almost indecent.
Well, why didn't he say I was just getting started then? And I couldn't afford a honeymoon. You know, honey, I never told you, but that check I gave the preacher was dated a week ahead to give me time to pump enough gas to cover it.
Oh, Henry. But after you'd built up a good business.
Well, I couldn't take the time then.
Fiddlesticks, you had Frank and Charlie.
But they had to be trained.
Well, you've had time to train them to walk a tightrope long before this.
And mighty good boys. Our business proves it, too. You know what Ed Russell said to me the other day when he stopped by?
I can guess. Morgan, you should be making more neighborhood calls. Building up business. Every evening, when your wife might like to go to the movies.
Oh, nothing of the sort.
Or maybe it was, Morgan, I've got some new ideas for displays. Put them up at night, instead of wasting your time at home.
Well, of course, if you don't care.
Yeah, well, all I care about right now is our honeymoon.
That's what I'm coming to. Ed said I'm one dealer could take a little holiday with a clear conscience.
When do you start?
Yes, sir. Hanky said, if every operation in my territory was as well balanced and as aggressive as yours, the company could give me a vacation permanently.
You'd still be finding excuses if Dr. Davis hadn't told you you needed a vacation.
Makes a fella feel pretty good. Of course, the service station business is like swimming upstream. You gotta go so fast just to stay even. But if you expect to get anywhere, you gotta get in and...
This is our honeymoon, remember?
I was only explaining about the business.
It's just us.
Oh, come on in, boys.
Oh, we just came to say goodbye.
Yeah, we brought you a little going-away present. Say, boss, you aren't supposed to wear that.
Oh, that's for butterflies, isn't it?
Shut up. It was the wife's idea. Hey, what's that? What have you got there?
Well, we knew you were planning some fishing, so we checked up on the special scientific baits that the experts use.
Worms!
Yeah, we thought you better stick to worms.
Oh.
How about some coffee, boys?
Oh, no,
thanks.
thanks, Mrs. Morgan. I've got to hit the deck early. We've been making up a tire display, and I've got to get it out on the drive first thing in the morning.
How about sending in some postcards? You know, having a wonderful time, X marks our room, and all that.
Oh, I'll do better than that. Look, movie camera, to preserve the living record of life's precious moments.
Swell. Get a complete picture of your trip.
Every year I'll run it off because I know perfectly well it's the only time I'll ever drag him away.
Well, be sure to let us in on the first showing.
You're invited.
Say, boys, about that display.
Yeah, boss. Any new ideas?
Oh, sure. No, what I was going to say, till I get back, you fellas are running the business. I haven't got anything on my mind but fun. So tomorrow, when your backs are beginning to ache and your feet are getting heavy, we will be just about here. Let me see. Yes, Center City.
Well, here we are, off on our happy honeymoon.
Just needs a little water. It's these hills. We'll go on into town and fill up. By the way, don't we know somebody in Center City? Seems familiar.
You just discovered it last night.
Yeah, I did at that. Oh, incidentally, when we stop for water, you better forget that I run a service station.
Oh?
Well, after all, if he knows I'm in the business, well, it's our honeymoon.
Never mind, darling. I know exactly what you mean.
A little water, please.
Yes.
Wouldn't be wise to put water in while it's so hot.
It's these hills. They surely heat up an engine.
While we're waiting, let's see what caused the overheating. Would you mind shutting off the motor, please?
Wait a minute. Oh, all right, go ahead.
I was afraid so.
What?
There's your trouble, at least part of it. That fan belt is just about worn out and it's slipping.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me see. By George, I guess you're right.
You might not notice it so much on the level, but it'll never get by in the hills.
You know, I've been a little suspicious about that belt, but I thought in time...
There's something else.
What?
That radiator hose. Those cracks are a sure sign it's ready to give up any time. And just feel it. There's no life, no strength to it.
Well, sure, it's a little tired, but look, we haven't got a lot of time.
Well, of course, it's up to you, but it was me. I'd rather spend a few moments now than take a chance on wasting hours on the road being towed in, maybe with a burnt-out engine.
Yeah, be careful. My wife isn't nervous, but when I hear you talk that way, you scare me half to death.
I suppose I do talk a little like a radio serial, but I've seen what can happen. I'm in this business.
Well, so am I.
Well?
I mean, well, so all right. Go right ahead and fix it up.
Yes, sir. Would you mind driving into the lube room?
Not at all. It seems there are a couple of things meant to have them attended to before we left, but...
Of course, darling, I understand.
Really, it's just a couple of little things. It won't take more than a minute or two.
Well, that's all right. Perhaps I'll take in a movie.
I've wiped off the porcelains and they look all right. But those plugs sure could stand cleaning. Only cost you a nickel apiece.
You got a cleaner?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay, can't do any harm for a nickel apiece.
Get right down.
May I help you?
Yes, do you have these to fit our car?
Why, yes, ma'am, just like they were tailor-made for it.
Well, they're quite attractive.
They certainly do dress up a car. And the more you drive, the more you appreciate them.
Really?
Yes, they're so cool riding. And because they're so silky smooth, your clothing doesn't stick to them like regular upholstery. You can move about freely. That's pretty important, especially in getting in and out of the car.
Yes. Yes, that's very important.
Well, I guess they ought to get by for quite a while now.
Well, they do look better. But we'll know for sure as soon as we test them.
Test them?
Yeah, in comparison with a new plug. You see, this machine doesn't guess. It gives you the facts.
No, sir?
What do you think?
Test the rest. And if they like that one, put in a new set.
Yes.
Say, this is a mighty handy little gadget. What does it cost?
Oh, not much, but you don't need one. Just drop in any time, and we'll clean and test your plugs. Why buy a cow? Just for a glass of milk.
Maybe I like cows. Who told that joker to put on those seat covers?
Why, darling, I did.
What's the idea?
Why, they're just the thing for our trip. Just look there. Why, the minute I saw them, I knew we needed them. They're so cool, and they make the car look so...
I know, but why let him make a profit on them? I got to stack them this high.
Oh, that's what's in those boxes. Oh, darling, I'm sorry. But how should I know?
And those things. Why drive a couple of 100 miles to buy things like that?
Oh, they won't be in the way, and they'll be so handy to have at home.
Of course, but I can get you all you want anytime.
Yes, that's what you say, dear, but you'll forget to order them.
Order them? I have them right in the station.
Really? I've never noticed them.
You never have?
No, I never have. But if you say so, I'll put them back.
Huh? No. Take them along. I'll be with you in a minute, dear. I got something to attend to.
Oh, may I help you, sir?
No, thanks. I'm pretty well set. Yes, sir, I'm doing all right.
Well, that's fine.
$24.80, $24.90, $25. And thank you very much.
Yes.
You folks planning on going very far?
Well, not at this rate.
I was just going to say that we've got one of the finest hotels in this part of the country, right here in Center City.
Is that so?
Yeah, it's right on the lake. Boardwalk, dinner music, dancing every evening.
Well, I don't
Oh,
think
it
we...
sounds charming.
I'd be very glad to pick up the car tonight.
Oh, no. We'll be using the car.
Oh, allow me.
Thank you.
Doggone it sure gets you.
Oh, it's lovely. Everything's lovely.
No, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why Center City seems familiar.
Oh, fiddlesticks. There's music and moonlight. Did you reserve a table? A good table?
Oh, well, a matter of fact, I thought the dining room would be crowded and stuffy. We could eat right here, listen to the music, and then go down on the boardwalk.
Oh.
Besides, I gotta get off the letter tonight.
Oh.
Now I'll get at that letter. Won't take a minute. Now then, we'll get this off. Then we'll show those young steppers that we aren't so rusty.
The orchestra went home a half an hour ago. You better take off those fancy pants before they get more wrinkles in them.
Oh, honey, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I know. That's why from now on, I'm making the reservation.
All right, so we're going to have some new accessory displays. What else does he say? What's that about taking off a wiper blade and putting in a burned-out headlight and all that?
It's part of his survey. Checking up to see how other dealers spot selling opportunities and how they put on their pitch. Sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, crazy like a fox.
Hi, Mac.
Say, you know your gas tank cap is gone?
Is that so?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody forgot to replace it. You know, some guys are pretty careless.
Well, you think you can fix me up?
Oh, sure. As soon as I inflate your tires. All right, George, this valve cap is gone, too. Some people just don't pay any attention to what they're doing.
Yep, you're right. You sure are.
Pardon me, sir. Did you know your headlights are on?
That's so? Thanks.
Not likely to notice them in the daytime. I see lots of them every day. People just don't think of them.
No. Thinking's getting to be something of a lost art. I meant to have that fixed, but I keep forgetting it.
Well, it's my job to spot those things, like your headlight and that spotlight and the rest.
Hey, this looks like a pretty tricky job with all those parts.
Well, actually, it isn't so tricky. You see, every kit contains parts. Let's see now. Every kit contains parts for all cars. No, that's not it. Well, you gotta find just the... No, that's wrong. Well, you gotta keep trying them all until you find just the right set. Sure, I thought I had it that time.
Maybe you'd save your time and mine if you'd follow the instructions.
Huh? Yeah, I had them here a minute ago.
Come in, dear.
Hello, honey. Mrs. Morgan, did I tell you you get a little prettier every day?
Oh, you're sweet, dear. Did you have a good game?
Oh, fine. The first hole, well, that was not so good. The second, worse. But the third, that was a honey. For a while. But then I took a club, and I...
I always understood it was customary to remove the wrapping. Oh, Henry.
Oh, honey, I promise tomorrow...
Tomorrow I'm going with you. And the next day, and the next.
Sure, that's swell, but tonight...
Yes, tonight. I've made plans. Come on, darling. We have other places to go, you know.
Oh, but honey, I have to get up early in the morning to play golf.
You don't expect me to believe that, do you?
Well, I'd certainly appreciate it if you would.
Faker. Moonlight and music.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you think of something?
Yes, I was thinking of something.
Oh, darling.
You know they pick up the last mail at midnight? Remind me, I gotta write a letter.
Oh! The last mail. That's my husband.
Gosh, even with the missus riding herd on him, he finds ways to keep up that doggone survey of his.
Sure looks like it. Listen to this. So far, I found just one station that has an edge on us. But that's one too many. That's bad news.
Go on.
I'm framing it so I can catch the dealer out and then see how his helpers stack up with you boys. Oh, brother, keep your fingers crossed.
Doesn't he ever relax? What do you suppose the missus does for fun?
I'll never know.
One, please.
Nice job, son.
Thanks.
Don't miss much, do you?
I sure try not to.
Ought to impress the customer, too. You know, give him confidence that you know what you're doing.
Well, after all, that's our job.
Well, you don't have to knock yourself out on this job. I take pretty good care of my car.
Oh, is this your car?
Yeah, I thought I'd get an oil change and a grease job so I could, well, just be on the safe side. So if you're through now...
Well, the lubrication's finished, but I didn't change the oil.
You didn't? I thought you usually did that first.
Usually do. But while the engine was hot, I checked the oil filter. Hardly warm.
Well, what of it?
Well, sure sign your filter's clogged. New oil would be full of dirt and grit in no time. So I thought I'd wait till you came and...
But that filter was changed, well, a little while ago.
Maybe you drive a lot over dusty roads, or maybe your regular station just overlooked it.
Why, I checked this car myself.
Yeah, I know. But you can hardly be expected to do a professional job. Here, it's our business.
Your business? But what? Quite a business.
I'll be glad to let you see for yourself. I'll start the motor.
That's all right. Put in a new one. I guess you know your business.
Well, just as you say. Now we'll start the engine.
You don't have to go to all this trouble. I'll take your word about the filter.
Oh, this is just a routine check for leaks in the muffler.
Just listening, you can tell that muffler's all right.
Yeah, it seems so. But it only takes a minute to be sure. And carbon monoxide is nothing to guess about.
Give a man some gadgets to play with and he'll start tinkering.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Fooling it. There, what is?
I'm glad you're here, sir. Take a look. See that smoke?
Hey, that's not for fun. That's serious.
That's right.
Well, it sounded all right.
We never used to suspect a muffler until the engine began to sound like a P-38. There it is.
Well, don't even let it down. I mean, put on a new muffler and tailpipe.
Right. Well, I believe we've covered everything.
Yes, we certainly have.
Your car will be ready in just a short time. Would you care to wait for her?
Yeah, I'll wait. By the way, when will your boss be back?
Wait. Any time now. Is something wrong?
No, everything's fine. But I think I remember why Center City seems so doggone familiar to me.
Huh?
Huh?
Oh, I see.
Are you sure there are no messages for this room? Nothing? Thank you. I'll give that Brittlewith just one more hour, and then I'll call out the Marines.
Then all of a sudden it hits me. George Martin and Center City.
Sit down.
Thanks. The guy Ed Russell's always hanging halos on for accessory merchandising.
Yeah, and anytime I get proud about my tire and battery showing, I hear all about Morgan, the miracle man of Durban. Say, how about it? Are you really that good?
Come on down and look us over. At least I promise you one thing. It won't cost you any $39.50. And that car just came out of my own service station. That hurts.
Just your pride. Why, you old pirate. Considering all the ideas you've probably stolen, that's peanuts.
You could be right.
Well, after all, it's no secret. Just locate the customer's needs and show why he needs them. That's 99% of the selling job.
Plus some doggone clever displays.
Oh, sure. A good display is a cheap salesman, but one of the best.
So I've noticed. But tell me, how did you come to go so all out for accessories like this?
No, I didn't happen to. I like making money, so do my boys. But we like making it the easy way.
Sure. I'm funny that way myself. But I don't understand one thing.
Well, let's ABC it. Accessories have the biggest profit potential in this business. They're the least exploited, and they're the easiest to sell.
Oh, that's a pretty broad statement.
Well, figure it out for yourself. For everything else, the motorist is a limited customer. He can only use so much gas and oil, so many tires and batteries.
I get it. But with accessories, the sky's the limit.
Uh-huh. And the limit is what you make it. Everything from a 5-cent fuse to a $50 radio, all directly tied up with motor car performance and satisfaction. And did you ever stop to consider the advantages we have with the Atlas line?
Oh, sure. Anybody who knows Atlas tires and batteries is just naturally prejudiced in favor of the whole line.
No more than that. I'm talking about the overall setup, our competitive edge. Did you ever figure it out?
Well, that depends upon how you look at it.
I mean everything. Stock investments, saleability, serviceability, everything that determines our competitive position.
Well, I've gone into it in a general way.
I'll bet you have. Let's consider stock. Atlas gives you a streamlined coverage for only a fraction of the investment your competitor must make.
Oh, yes, no doubt about it.
Take mufflers. Ordinarily, you'd expect to stock about 200 different types of mufflers and over 300 tailpipes. But with Atlas, you cover the biggest share of the business with 16. And if you do have a call for some of the additional types, there's always the company warehouse to take care of you. Fan belts. Do you have to carry 150 different types? No. You cover the active market with about 20. Filters. A few years ago, we had to stock 8 styles of this type. Now, Atlas does the job with exactly 1. Excuse me a minute.
Come on, act smart. Say something.
Look at them. As original equipment, they're every shape and size under the sun.
No, those aren't half the types that are on the road.
But for replacement, Atlas gives us an arm that's adjustable for length and adjustable for blade angle. And with just 3, I cover the field. And oh boy, how dealers hate to spend time keeping a complicated inventory.
You bet. The most valuable thing we've got is our time. An hour wasted means just that much money out of the till. But some guys can't seem to realize it.
Well, the smart ones do. And they realize the value of the engineered simplicity of installation of the Atlas accessories. And these instruction sheets. You know, they weren't just dreamed up in some office. They were developed out of experience in the field and are aimed directly at you and me and the boys that work for us. For instance, these wiper arm fittings. The fittings for each type of installation have their own individual color. The instructions give you the key. You can't go wrong.
Yet you see some smart Alex toss the instructions away even before the job is started.
Not around here. Not more than once. Now, let's go on to the third point, ease of selling. Look back at your own experience.
I am. I'm not feeling so good.
Why, your pride's still tender from that little bill?
Little, he says. No, I was just thinking how my wife reacted to those displays and point-of-sale promotion. You'd never think she was a dealer's wife. She acted like Mrs. Ordinary Motorist.
Oh, how about yourself? Who were you when you saw your spark plugs on test? And the muffler test with the cone and the tailpipe?
Just another guy who owns a car. Simple things, but they pack such a wallop right where it counts.
But just remember, they won't do the job alone. This is and always will be a human business. That means man-to-man selling, train selling. By the way, you and your boys are taking in the training program, of course.
Drop around at the next session. Those guys in the front row with the big eyes and ears, that'll be us.
There's my hand. 4 pretty little aces. Can you top them?
Hey, wait a minute. Who are you pushing around? I'm on your side, remember?
Well, that's my story on accessories. Now let's hear from that wonder boy of tires and batteries that Ed Russell is always yapping about.
Oh, brother, now it's my turn. Hold your hat. Well, we began... Uh-oh. Say, this is awful.
Trouble?
Look, you've got to help me out.
Well, of course, anything I can do.
Yes? Oh, at last. Well, whose grease pit have you been burrowing in today?
Why, sweetie, how you talk. Business? I just wanted to tell you we're going to do the town with the Martins. Lovely people. You'll be just crazy about them.
I'll believe it when I'm there.
Please tell me I'm the one, the only one. Say it, dear, a million times. We'll walk in style down the aisle and blame it all on love. Blame it all on love.
ever stop to think what it means for customers to bring their cars to us?
Here we go again. George, please.
Just one thought, dear, and then I'm all through. Suppose you were in the clothing business. Would your customers come in bringing their entire wardrobe so that you could paw through and point out everything they need?
Well, hardly.
Or take the furniture business. Would you ever have a chance to examine a man's house from top to bottom and sell him everything that should be replaced?
Well, of course you would.
But in our business, when a man drives in, he's putting all his car needs right in our hands.
Sure. Treat him right, you got all his business and his goodwill as long as he drives a car.
Have you ever found a way to beat this? Not in 15 years. Any ideas? Just retreat to the powder room and get away from it all.
I'm sorry, it's my fault. I promise.
Just fight it out, boys, and let us know who wins.
There's one thing I'd like to add. We don't have any divine right to this opportunity. We had a fight to get it, and we're gonna have to fight to keep it.
Exactly. Time was when we didn't have a look-in on the accessory business, or tires and batteries either. We had to earn it by doing a better job.
Sure, when money was easy, we had our own way. During the war, a lot of big shots learned that they could stay alive on sales and service for batteries, tires, and accessories. From now on, they'll be right on our tails.
Well, we've still got the ball. If we fumble, it's our own fault. And I, for one... here they come, act like a party boy.
Say, we missed you.
I'll bet you did.
There I was, right up to my waist in icy water, dropping the old fly onto the bank. And in 10 minutes, I landed the trout, like that.
Nice going, boss.
Well, it's the first time I ever heard of fly fishing with a casting rod.
Oh, sure. You take a Huh?
Never mind, boss. You sure look good.
I feel like a million. Nothing like a good vacation, I always say.
What about the postcards? All we got were battle communiques.
Yeah, what about those movies?
I didn't forget. Tonight you'll see the world's premiere if one of you boys will give me a hand.
That's me. Coming up.
We got your letters. That was really quite a survey.
She doesn't know the whole story. I had an awful time alibying for stopping at so many stations. But I managed to get by without her getting wise.
Oh, that's all right. Now we'll get the projector and start the show. I can't wait for Henry to see these pictures.
I had to keep pretending that the car needed first this thing and then that thing, and she swallowed it.
Come on, boys, bring your chairs over.
Oh, sure. Sure thing.
Oh, Charlie, will you turn the lights off, please?
Oh, sure.
Wait till you get a load of this beautiful landscape. Well, that's an original title.
Hush, this is my picture.
That's what I call scenery.
Why, that's you, boss.
Hey, that isn't funny. You should see that display.
Don't worry, we will.
That was in Mayfair. And believe me, that really makes a car owner stop and think about his filter. Oh, that was in Little Falls. Doesn't that catch your eye? And we can build it for peanuts. Look at those mufflers. Simple. Doesn't cost anything. But at least you know that guy sells mufflers. Well, that's that dealer in Bedlam. Brings some tricky new display in that spot every week. Isn't it a honey? I got all the dope on that written down. Figured the whole thing out. Okay, so I made a little mistake. That's Dartford. He's planted his polished display right under your nose.
Huh. That's not so much.
Not alone, perhaps, but right near it. There it is. See how nicely that ties in? It gets attention, and it sells. There's his lube room, tied into the same theme. It sells polish, or a polishing job, and the station wins either way. Well, you even got that office display in Newton. See how he sets up his miscellaneous items? Lets them sell themselves. And I know someone who bought a whole armful that way.
Just you never mind.
This ought to be good.
It was terrific.
All right, he's funny looking, but take a look at his pocket. See that windshield wiper almond blade? It's a reminder to the motorist and to himself, and he's always ready for a sale.
Friend of yours, boss?
Darn right, and he's doing a good job. You don't catch him fumbling. Notice he doesn't even touch the adjustment screws. Those headlights are really precision built.
Say, he's mad.
He really was, and for good reason. That dumb cluck was too lazy to get a wrench, so he used a pair of pliers, and of course he crushed the fittings. Oh yeah, that lug, forcing on a fan belt with a screwdriver.
And what did you tell him, dear?
I said that if he wasn't careful, he'd rupture the fan belt and himself too.
There's the honeymooner again.
I'm afraid I know himself. I made a Yehudi.
Okay, I'm no actor, but watch that guy. See how he does it? Why, that tool peels mufflers off like the skin of a banana.
Say, that's all right.
Yes, sir, that takes the bugs out of muffler work and puts money in the till.
Did you spend all your vacation in service stations?
You're not kidding, young man.
Oh, yeah? Well, I made a note of this, too. See how he handles that back seat cushion? He lays it on a cardboard, covered with a clean cloth. He kneels on it to depress the springs and ties it tight. And there, my boy, you got a back seat cover without a wrinkle.
Boy, some vacation.
All for the happy, carefree life.
Hey, is that all? Isn't there any more?
You mean you could stand more? Henry, darling, that's supposed to be... Well, it's satire, don't you understand?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's swell.
And the sad part of it is he means it.
Sure, I'm going to run it off again tomorrow for the boys.
Well, we better say goodnight.
Yeah. Good night, Mrs. Morgan. Boss?
Good night. So long, boys, and come back again soon.
We sure enjoyed it.
And next time we'll entertain you by polishing the car.
Well, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Boy, what a swell piece of film.
Well, darling, I can always trade you in on an electronic dishwasher.
Huh? Think you're pretty smart with your surprises, don't you?
Well...
Maybe I've got one, too.
You mean you gave me a set of overalls so I can help out at the station?
Something like that. Hide your eyes.
Now, Henry, I'm not at all sure I trust you. You remember that movie was just in fun.
So is this, Mrs. Morgan. Now, hurry up. Come on. There.
Oh, darling. Why, Henry, that's me.
Now, don't ask a lot of questions. I know what I'm doing.
Oh. Oh, darling.
Maybe you don't know it, but we've made history. For the first time, there's been a honeymoon that paid off.
him when the master brought him home. Still in that tin suit he was, clattering like a lot of pots and pans.
The old man's
Our
talking
name has
again.
been respected in this community for more than 5 generations. Nothing matters to you except your own diabolical pleasure. Look at that. Take that silly thing off. Look at it. Look at that picture. What do you think of that?
It isn't a very good picture, is it?
In all your life, the only creditable thing you've done is play football. Why can't you put some of the energy, the enthusiasm, into something worthwhile?
You mean making money? Why should I? You make the money, I'll spend it. Complete the cycle. Law of supply and demand makes the world go round. Like my head.
Penny, you're a disgrace to our name. You're selfish. You're inconsiderate. You're a wastrel. You're disrespectful. You're a disgrace to our name.
This is where I came in.
Oh. Haven't you any ambition?
Sure, take my fun where I find it while I'm still able to take it. My hat. Good day, sir.
You know him?
Too well. I know him so well I'd like to wring his neck.
Playboy, eh?
Ah, the worst kind. He lives right up the street, and you should see him drive. Mile a minute and going no place.
I know the type.
If that stop signal's against him, he'll wheel right through the drive here, and if you're in his way, it's just too bad.
That isn't funny. That's dangerous. Can't you do something about it?
No, but someday... Look out! You blasted empty-headed harebrained nitwit!
Why, he's crazy. You ought to be able to stop that.
I wish I had that kid just for 5 minutes. Well, where were we? Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. What else you got on your mind?
Oh, nothing much, Barney.
Come on now. Anytime one of you standard oil salesmen comes around, you want something. I suppose the season is the reason?
No, Barney, you're doing a very good job here. Of course, I would like to see you at the next session of the service profit plan.
Well, that's good stuff, all right, Joe, but we're pretty busy around here.
Too busy to get some new ideas on doing a better job more easily?
I know. Look, I'll be down one of these times,
You bet you will. Even if I have to come out and get you. Goodbye, Barney.
Bye, Joe.
Say, that Pendleton kid's sure getting himself in the headlines, front page, society page.
Yeah, that jughead, he'll get what's coming to him one of these days.
He's getting his share. Ah, moon of my delight that knows no wane, thy face in heaven is rising once again. How oft you...
Shut up. Penny, how much longer are you going to continue to make a fool of yourself?
Ha ha! You've been reading the papers again. All you know is what you read.
Be quiet. I know that I once admired you, looked up to you.
And now?
Now you're a clown.
You don't care for it.
I certainly don't.
Would you like me to take you home?
I would indeed.
Lady, here we go.
Are you all right, miss?
Well, I guess so.
How about you, young fella?
Oh, it's you! Just a moment. It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
Well, I should hope so. You sure you're all right, miss?
Aha!
Huck Penny rides once too often.
Everything will be taken care of as soon as I get in touch with my father.
That'll be in the morning, me lad. Tonight you spend in jail.
Just a moment, officer. Penny!
Hey, you're going to have that Simonized.
Mr. Pendleton, this is a plain case of a swelled head and too much money. It's only through the grace of Providence that he didn't kill someone.
I know.
The boy is antisocial. Absolutely no regard for the rights of others. Now, what he needs is to be taught a lesson. And that's exactly
That's why I'm here. This is the one chance to make a man of him, or kill him trying. I want that chance.
Sit down, Mr. Pendleton. Sit down and let's talk this thing over.
Katie, it would have done your heart good to hear him.
Let him work it out, says Mr. Pendleton. Every dollar of it. Let him do a man's work for once in his life.
A man's work, that butterfly.
Humiliate him, says he. Break him down. Rub his nose in grease, he says. And maybe we'll find out what he's made of.
Sawdust, that's all, just sawdust.
So, the judge paroles the lad to Barney McBride to do whatever Barney sees fitting for him to do.
Anything I want him to do. Anything at all.
You're going to hear him squeal like a stuck pig.
I don't know, Barney. He played 3 years of football and never asked for time out.
Yeah, but this is different. There aren't any brass bands around here. Let's see. The first few days, we let him scrub and scour and paint.
Yes, sir, the whole shebang.
Bear down on him, says his father. I'll make him squawk so loud they'll hear him in China.
Should have stripes running this way. And a ball and chain. How about shaving my head?
Oh, Barney isn't so bad. Of course, he's sore right now, but that'll wear off. In the meantime, I guess you just have to take it.
Sure, I'll take it and like it, as far as he knows. The nastier the job, the more I love it. That baboon. He's just waiting for me to squawk. Well, he'll wait till he's standing on his whiskers.
Looks like it's going to be a busy summer.
You know, Pete, we've been missing a bit. Driveway displays, that's what we ought to have. A nice big display of tires, and cans of oil, accessories and stuff like that.
That's what that standard order man's been telling you for years.
Yes, but it's been too much bother. Until now. Now, there's a setup that ought to be just about right. That's just about right.
I had noticed that first-class stations use such displays, but I didn't think you would appreciate them.
Well, we'll use them from now on, and you'll drag them out every morning and back every night.
Yes, sir.
Well, Barney.
Yes, sir. Shall I put this in the back?
Yeah, that's okay. How are you, Mr. Rance?
Well, you've been fixing up quite a bit, haven't you, Barney?
Oh, not so much.
Spick and span as a Dutch kitchen. It seems a lot brighter, too.
Yes, I guess it is at that.
Take it from a traveling man, Barney. It's the place that stands out, like this, that gets the business.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you noticed it.
Yeah, it's a nice display, too. That sells goods. Sold me a case of oil.
Well, coming from a salesman, that's a real compliment.
Let me tell you something else. Those restrooms of yours are going to win the women's vote. You know, women don't know much about gas and motor oils, but restrooms, that's the way they judge a service station. Well, good night.
Good night, Mr. Rance.
Pendleton residence. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Master Penny is away on business.
Why don't you tell them the truth? Right this way, folks, and see our young aristocrat learning to be a man.
Master Penny is preparing for the future.
If that's the future of America, I'd say, give it back to the Indians.
You know, sometimes I don't understand you, Barney. That kid's done all your dirty jobs and done them with a smile.
That's it. He's so doggone cheery. That Pollyanna grin is getting on my nerves.
So you're putting him in a uniform and leaving him alone in the station tonight, huh?
That's right.
Oh, he doesn't know much about service routine. He's liable to make a monkey out of himself.
Exactly.
Well, is that smart business?
How much business will we do tonight?
Oh, I don't know. A few drop-ins, maybe some of that country club crowd.
Sure, and did you notice how he dives for cover whenever his high-hat friends come in?
I get it, but I don't like it.
Pete, I gotta wipe that silly grin off his face or go nuts.
So Penny's finally settled down, eh? Well, glad to hear it. What's he in? Petroleum. Oh, production in? No merchandising. Oh, I see. It'll probably seem a little dull at first. Oh, no. Penny takes it in stride.
Good evening. Did you want gas?
Why, yes, of course. Why, Penny, hello.
Penny, we heard that you had...
How many, please?
5 will be enough, but, Dear, are you sure you want me to go through with this?
Perfectly. And I hope you don't succeed.
Penny, perhaps this has gone far enough. I'm a pretty good lawyer, and there are ways of getting out of a situation like this.
No, thank you, sir. I didn't make the rules of this game, but I'm in it. And I'll play it according to the rules.
Yes, of course. I guess I don't understand this.
There are so many things you don't understand about so many things. You keep on playing the game your way.
Oh, thank you, Mom. I'm glad you like our service.
Frankly, your service is awful, but you'll do.
I would forget to collect. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Have you got a road map?
Why, yes, I think so.
Is that number 25 to Lawton open yet?
Not yet. You'd better drive right through on the county road to Graceland.
But I ain't going to Graceland.
No? You want to go to Lawton, don't you?
No, I was just wondering. I got stuck down there 2 weeks ago on that detour.
I lost the key to my spare. Can you fix that flat right away?
I'll get right at it.
Say, I was supposed to deliver these chickens to Henry Morris's market, but he's closed. Can I leave them here so he can come for 'em?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Just give me a hand, we'll put 'em out of the way. You know I always get my gas here. You fellows don't ask more than a fair price. And a cent or two a gallon makes a sight of difference to me.
Can I borrow your gauge?
Sure, be careful, Sonny.
Hey, get those cars out of my way. I'm going.
That's a nickel phone in there. Got change for a half?
Look at this tire!
Come on, let's go!
Can't you do something? My dad'll
It's your business to know road conditions.
Have my car ready in a half an hour.
Give me a hand with these chickens.
Tire! What'll I do?
Come on, I can't wait all night. Hurry up. Nuts all up.
What's the matter, kid? They kind of got you down?
What do you want?
Oh, nothing. Unless maybe I can help a little. You see, that's my job, helping a little here and there. What seems to be your trouble?
People, just people. They're the most inconsiderate, selfish, stubborn animals in the world.
Yeah, sometimes they seem that way. But don't forget, son, they're your boss, and they pay off if you give them what they want. There are 25 million cars on the road, and 1 in every 4 turns in at that standard sign for service. Why?
Better gas and oil, I suppose.
That's only part of it. Of course it means outstanding products. Standard Oil has spent a lot of years earning respect for that name. It's a name that's recognized as a standard of progress in laboratory developments and refining processes designed to give the motorist better petroleum products at fair, reasonable prices. But standard service is just as important. Standard service is professional service, friendly service. It means treating the motorist the way he wants to be treated.
Beautiful talk. But who's to say how the motorist wants to be treated?
The motorist himself. Look. On the highway, they're just traffic. But they come to us as people. All kinds of people. Meet them in the driveway and no two seem alike. But when you boil down all their demands, all of them are satisfied by the same fundamentals of competent service and friendly courtesy. That isn't just a guess. It's based upon knowledge gained through serving 500,000 of those people every day in standard service stations. In addition to this constant contact with our own customers, Standard Oil personally interviews the customers at competitive service stations in sufficient numbers and with sufficient frequency to find out their buying habits and preferences. That's what we call sales research. Finding out what people want and helping our dealers to give them what they want.
Yeah? What's the answer?
Well, there's part of it. The boiled-down brains and sweat and experience of the most successful dealers in this business. They're the ones who've made standard service the standard by which all other service is measured.
Is there any shortcut in this business? I mean a shortcut that would show me how to do perhaps a little bit better than someone who's already doing a pretty good job?
Maybe. That depends on you. Study those and come on down to the next session of the service profit plan. That's the quickest way to learn the hows in this business.
Yeah, and that's what I'm after. The hows. And the quicker the better.
One more week. I wonder. One more week.
Yeah, something's got to give pretty quick or bust.
Wait a minute. Let our boy Wonder take it.
So you can watch him fumble it?
Good morning, Mr. Gentry. What'll a tank hold today?
About 8, I guess.
So light or Red Crown?
Red Crown.
Thank you.
You know, that kid's got away with people. Notice Gentry took 8 instead of the usual 5?
He didn't even get a chance to ask for 5.
It'll hold more. Shall I fill it?
Make it an even 10.
Thank you.
Kid does a nice job, you know. Business every minute, but in a friendly sort of way.
Where'd he learn that routine? Must have been watching us, huh?
I wish I thought so.
You need a quart of number 20. Shall I put in Isovis or Quaker State?
Why, Isovis.
Thank you.
Works like a charm. I never would have believed it.
They used to laugh at the Wright brothers, too.
Out of $3. Thank you. If you'll drive to the air stand, I'll be glad to check your tires.
No, thanks. They're okay.
All right, sir. Won't you come in again, please?
Right.
Well, it was a darn good job, and I'm going to tell him so.
Catch him when he faints.
Well, it was a nice job. I don't mind telling you so.
Just a matter of treating people the way they like to be treated. Try it sometime.
All right, I ask for it.
Wise guy, huh?
I'm not asking for a pat on the back. I like getting in his hair.
You like this?
As long as I'm serving time, I like anything. It's all good, clean fun.
Boy, if this is fun, I'm nuts.
Well, it's fun.
Okay, I'm nuts.
All right, Mr. Shepard, 30 pounds all around.
Thank you very much. I guess I'm all set.
Oh, by the way, isn't your car about due for lubrication?
Why, almost any time now, I guess.
We can take care of you immediately, Mr. Shepard. Just drive right in, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, all cleaned up, huh? Well, that's just dandy. Now, you'll notice when I serve a customer, I'm careful to give him all he needs.
Shall I deliver your car, or do you prefer to wait?
Oh, I'm in no great hurry. I'll wait.
You take mighty good care of your car, Mr. Shepard.
I have to. A car has to last me 3 years at least.
I suppose a smart guy would have sent that kid to jail, and a dumbbell would have let him go free. So I guess I'm somewhere in the middle.
You sure are. Most all the time.
Of course, he puts on an act when I'm around. Now, if he was going to make a break, he'd make it when I'm not here, wouldn't he?
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. I had been thinking I might put him back on the night shift with you. If he was going to stub his toe, that would be his chance to fall right on his face.
Hey, what are you getting at?
If he gets caught walking out on the job, he's got to start serving time over again. You know that, don't you?
You're trying awful hard to keep from liking him.
Oh, I could have broken him down long ago. I might have sent him out pushing doorbells and getting doors slammed in his face.
You wouldn't do that.
No, not that. You know, Pete, he isn't a bad kid if he didn't get so doggone irritating at times. Hey, what is this?
When I serve a customer, I'm always careful to give him everything he needs.
That's what I mean. That's what's...
Well, tonight and tomorrow, and you're back in the army of the unemployed, huh?
Yeah. Say, did Barney burn up when he found out I'd been sending out those lubrication reminder cards?
No, why should he?
Oh, nothing. I just hoped he would, the baboon.
Hey, he hasn't been so tough on you. He could have sent you out ringing doorbells for new business.
That's tough, eh?
Don't even talk about it.
Say, Pete, suppose I just walked off the reservation for one evening.
Hey, Barney'd go right through the roof, no fooling.
He would, eh?
He'd run right down and report you to the judge, sure as you're a foot high. You'd wind up behind the 8-ball.
I wonder.
Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going?
Taking an evening off, Pete. One evening of fun. Go places and do things. Wind up in one last blaze of glory.
Well, just be careful you don't burn your pants.
All right, where is he?
Well, the fellow starting Clevis on the car.
Oh, he walked out, huh? Couldn't wait, huh? The fly brain. All right, the first thing in the morning, I'm calling the judge. Well, first thing this afternoon, I'm calling the judge. And I mean it.
You don't have to do that. There's the judge now.
What? Oh, me. Well, good morning, Judge. I'm glad to see you, sir. I'm glad to see you.
Well, I think our little experiment in character building is turning out all right.
Oh, yes, it certainly is, sir.
I was hoping to see him on the job.
Oh, no. He won't be down till noon. No, he's pretty busy.
Oh, so I gather. Well, I'll leave the car.
You leave the car?
Surprised? From what young Pendleton tells me, I think I'm perfectly safe in turning my car worries over to you people. Good day.
Maybe I'm nuts.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. Mail it right into the company. Mm-hmm. Well, you're very welcome.
Who's that?
Mrs. Babcock says her husband filled out one of those credit card applications. She wanted to know whether to bring it in here or send it direct into the company.
Babcock. They are customers of ours.
I don't know. She seems to think they are.
Something a little screwy around here.
Morning, sir. Oh, good morning, Marty. Fill her up as usual.
Yes, sir.
You know, I always fill up here because I know your prices are fair.
Well, thanks, Mr. Rance.
Say, why didn't you ever tell me about your national credit card?
Oh, the credit card. Yeah. Yes.
Sure. You know, that's mighty handy for a fellow that travels like I do. As a young fellow said, it makes every town your hometown.
Yes, sir. That's right, all right.
Hey, when I get that card, maybe we can make a deal for some tires. Deferred payments.
Oh, sure, fine. That's swell, sir.
McBride Standard Service. Yes, Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole. What? Oh, yes, we can pick your car up any time it's convenient to you. Oh, I see. Well, he hasn't come on duty yet, but as soon as he does, I'll send him right over. Thank you, sir. Mr. Cole.
You know what that monkey's doing? He's out pushing doorbells, but ringing doorbells.
He's doing all right, too.
And a fine thing, just making heels out of you and me.
Not me.
Oh, hurry. We have to hurry. It's nearly midnight, and this has got to look something like a garden with a moon.
Well, it doesn't at all.
Well, then we'll pretend. We'll just have to pretend this is a garden and pretend there's a moon.
If I may say so, miss, out in the garden there is a moon. A particularly attractive moon.
That comes later.
Well, it's just about 12 o'clock.
Yeah, just about. Well, I guess I might as well clear out.
Yes, I guess you might as well. Nothing I can do for you, is there?
No, guess not. Wait a minute. Maybe there is. You know, in football, when a fella tries hard enough and is good enough to make the first team, he wins his letter. I've got one. Doesn't amount to very much, perhaps, but I worked like the devil to earn it, and I'm kind of proud of it. I was just wondering if maybe...
Okay, kid, you've earned it.
This story starts where most stories wind up, with a wedding. A pretty fancy wedding, too. J. Wallington Wadsworth marrying off his daughter. But let me tell it just like it happened. I wasn't there, but I know the old boy plenty well. He was one of the best regular customers at my service station. And tough, boy. With him, everything's got to be just right. So when he says dress up, everybody dresses up. When he's managing things, everything goes along just like it should. Everything right according to Hoyle, just like old man Wadsworth planned it. Then it happened.
I thought you said this was all ready.
It is. Stop fussing and do something.
I am, but nothing happens.
You think it's funny? Well, maybe, but not to me. You see, that car had been serviced in my station. And Mr. Wadsworth came right down the warpath to me, still hotter than a firecracker. What did I say? Ha! He was doing all the talking.
And what's more, you've seen the last of my car, my wife's car, my daughter's car, and every other car I can keep out of your stupid hands.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Your hat. Keep it. On you it looks good.
Wow. 20 minutes, never repeated himself once. That shows you what an education will do for you.
All right, Speed, what happened?
Well, I pick up the car yesterday and I give it to Works on account I know it's important. I check the tires, fill the tank, change the oil, complete lube job, everything, even the wheel bearings. Clean the carburetor screen, flush the radiator, 2 new spark plugs.
Oh, never mind all that. It was the battery that went bad. How about the battery?
I'm coming to that. Well, I fill it. Then I think maybe I better give it a test just for luck. It's down, so I give it a quick shot.
You did?
So help me. I guess it just didn't hold the charge, that's all.
You guess? Can you guess how much business just walked out? Do you guess Mr. Wadsworth noticed how well everything else was done when the battery wouldn't start the car? Did you take a test on that battery after you charged it?
Well, no.
Why?
We just never do, that's all. I wouldn't even have given it a boost without authority if he wasn't a special customer.
Wasn't is right. One thing sure, he isn't anymore. And I don't blame him. Why, just put yourself on the spot like that. Suppose you got woke up in the middle of the night. It's an emergency. Your wife's sick. She's going to have a baby or something. You got to get her to the hospital quick. It's life or death. You jump in the car, step on the starter, and nothing happens. And there's your poor little wife. What would you do?
I'd go back to bed. On account I haven't got a wife.
Oh, maybe this is all a big joke to you, huh? Just funny stuff.
No, I didn't say that, but well, you know I'm not married.
Oh, I guess it's up to the boss, all right. Well, from now on, I'm going to see that our customers get battery service. And if I find an owner needs a new battery, I'm going to sell him one if I got to ram it down his throat. Well, that hat got to be kind of a symbol, especially after Speed stuck a tag on it. But I'd meant what I said about service. I kind of hoped Speed would fall in line, but...
You can shut it off now.
I don't dare. Had to get a push this morning. I got to get this car downtown.
Oh, battery down, huh? Well, shut her off anyway. If she won't start, I'll give you a push.
All right.
I just thought I'd wait and see if Speed would wake up. But he didn't.
Thank you, sir. Now try that starter.
Won't start.
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do.
Little balky, eh?
Yeah, you'll just give me a little push.
Better than that, let's give it a quick charge, just to see what sort of shape it's in.
I didn't know you had battery service.
Yes, sir. Have you all set in just a few minutes.
Hey, Speed, give me a hand. Let's roll this over to the air tower.
All right.
Didn't know we had battery service. Well, how could he? There's nothing to tell him so. During the few minutes it took to charge his battery, I did some thinking. If we were going to be in the battery business, we'd be in the battery business. Identification, full line, maybe even a tire and battery pickup rig. Maybe. When I got to check this fellow's battery, I could see there was no sale here. But I figured I'd give him a little goodwill talk anyway.
Well, there she is, right up to snuff. I see it's an Atlas K, mighty good battery.
Perhaps. Seems like it runs down oftener than it should.
Well, with all the electrical accessories they put in a car these days.
Maybe I should have paid a little more and got the same kind that came with the car.
Yeah, no matter what you pay, you can't beat an Atlas.
Maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Come and see us again. You see?
Yeah, but I don't see how that guy can expect to run all those gadgets on just a 13-plate job.
Well, what are you going to do?
Somebody sold him the wrong size Atlas. But you sure let him think it'd do the work.
Well, it's no use knocking your own stuff, Speed. You just don't understand merchandising.
That stopped him. But even I knew it was just a lot of words. Then one day, everybody knew we were in the battery business. Signs, a full stock of sizes, yes, and even road service. That sort of a layout kind of stiffens a guy's spine, makes him want to get out and settle. And right off the bat, I had my chance. I just finished servicing a transient off on a vacation trip. A meek little guy with kids and baggage sticking out all over. And then he steps on the starter.
Pretty dangerous starting on a vacation with a battery like that.
Well, I thought...
Did it charge up running?
That's right.
Taking your chance. You don't want to be caught on some empty road in the middle of the night, miles from anywhere.
Oh, of course not.
I should say not. Drive right over here a minute, will you, please?
Yeah.
Right over this way.
Yeah, I really gave him a working over. I painted a picture that had his hair on it and told him more about Atlas batteries than even I knew. When I stopped for breath...
Hey, Speed, heads up!
Okay. Did you ever hear of fiberglass mats?
I guess...
I thought not. Well, let me tell you.
Thank you, sir. Will you come back? Good morning, sir. How many gallons will your tank hold today? Thank you, sir. Will you come back?
There she is. An Atlas. No finer battery made at any price.
It's nice looking.
You bet, and factory fresh. We keep every one of our batteries constantly vitalized, right up to peak performance all the time.
Is that important?
Important? You bet it is.
Good morning. How many gallons will your tank hold today?
About 10, please.
Now we'll put this in your car. Then you'll see something.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Timmons, just step on the starter.
Yes, sir. You bet. All right, Skip. That's it. We got ourselves a new battery. All right. Take him away, will you? That's it. Yeah. Why, that's just the same as it was before.
Connection on the starting motors will loose. Fix it right up.
Sure bet you will. You can just bet you're going to put my own battery back, too.
But, Mr. Timmons, listen.
You listen to me. You're going to put my own battery back in there and let me get out of here.
Well, just as you say, Mr. Timmons.
Just as I say.
Well, I was plumb disgusted. Speed didn't help matters much either. I was ready to blow up. Boy, you. Look, just wait till we get a little touch of cold weather and those batteries start going then. Just wait. Then they'll call me and pay a couple of extra bucks for that service trip. You just wait. Okay, I'll wait. I'll show these guys. So I kept our battery stock clean and charged up, just waiting. The next time the company rep stopped by, I was all set for him.
Battery stock looks pretty good, Mac, considering the time you've been carrying it.
I know. But just wait till cold weather. They'll move.
Then they will, yeah, sure.
No use knocking myself out for nothing.
No, indeed.
Look, it doesn't pay to push people when they're not ready. They resent it.
That's right. When they know they're being pushed around.
Yeah, but just try to do them a favor and they act like you're trying to barbershop them.
Sure, unless they realize you're doing them a favor.
Yeah, but just wait till we get some cold weather. Boy, just like picking up apples under a tree. No fuss, no pain, just profit.
Yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, Mac, I got some figures on the battery business that seem to bear out what you say.
Oh, you have you? Let's see them.
They made an investigation of the battery business, and found that in about 2/3 of the cases, batteries went dead as a complete surprise to owners, in their garages or on the road.
Yeah, I can believe that.
In about 1/3 of the cases, the owner suspected his battery was going bad and did something about it.
What about that little thin slice there?
In 3% of the cases, only 3 out of every 100, mind you, was the dying battery discovered in a service station before it failed.
Yes, sir, just as I thought. Now look, it just goes to show.
Yeah, isn't it a pity?
Why, what do you mean? Look at all the people who be coming in to buy new batteries.
Coming in where, Mac?
Oh, coming in wherever they sell batteries.
Exactly. The first place they hit on the way downtown, or the first name they find in the phone book. Of course, you'll get a percentage of business just sitting here, but look at the opportunity you've got. You're too smart, Mac, to play the law of averages when you might be knocking off the big harvest.
Sure. That all sounds fine. Maybe it works where they got a battery specialist with nothing else to do. But here, well, I can't be everywhere at once.
Oh, how about Speed?
Speed? Him? Ha! Speed putting on a selling job. That's one for the funny papers. Why, doggone it, I have enough trouble here myself. Oh. Excuse me, Phil. Somebody wants to spend some money. Speed a master salesman. That's one for the book.
Sure would open his eyes if somebody was to do what he keeps popping off can't be done.
Yeah, it sure would. Be so easy to do, too.
Oh, not me. First time I slowed up traffic at the island trying to sell a battery, Mac would land on me like an atom bomb.
That's just the point. If you go after battery business the smart way, you just take it in your stride.
You mean a guy might be putting on a pitch without him getting wise to it?
Practically. Till he heard the cash register start playing a tune.
Hey, this sounds like a rib. Tell me more.
There she is, right up to the proper level. By the way, how is your battery standing up since we, what's this, a rental? What happened to the Atlas?
Oh, that. Well, it seems the Atlas was too small for this car. Down at the electric service shop, they showed me the trouble, so I bought a new one, a big one.
Oh, I see.
It could be a nuisance to check tires, oil, water, radiator hose, lights, and all the rest if we didn't have them all down to a routine system.
I see. And you can work batteries right into that same routine.
Of course. After all, you wouldn't let a man drive his engine until the bearings froze before you tried to sell him oil, now would you?
No.
And you wouldn't wait for his tires to blow out just hoping he'd come into you for new ones.
Well, of course not, but, well, batteries are different.
Only to this extent. An owner can't see his battery wearing out. Now, naturally, he doesn't want to buy a new battery. But he does want dependable starting, always. Now, you protect that dependable starting in your service routine and let him know about it. He'll appreciate that service. And furthermore, you'll be the first to know when he does need a new battery and have the first and best chance to sell it.
Well, sure, if he's a regular. But what if you spot a transient and you're pretty sure his battery's on its last legs, but you can't be positive without a charging check?
Well, why send him on to a competitor? Sell him the idea of applying the cost of a charge to the price of a new battery.
Yep. Uh-oh. Let's go on with this some other time.
By golly, that's gratitude for you. I rescue the guy when he needs help, then he spends his dough someplace else.
Helped him along to a competitor, eh?
Just wait till the snow flies. Oh, say, I gotta go downtown. I got a tire deal cooking. How about sticking around till lunchtime?
Oh, no thanks, Mac. I've got to move along, but I'll be back before cold weather.
Sure. Glad to see you anytime, Phil. Hey, Speed, I'm going down to Radway's.
Okay.
See you, Phil.
So long, Mac.
You know, I've been thinking about what you told me, and, well, it's okay.
But what?
Well, isn't there a shortcut? You know, some way to shorten the lead-up talk?
Sure there is. When you run across a battery that looks guilty, just ask the owner how old it is.
Oh, I see. Something like, pardon me, sir, how old is your battery? Sort of suspicious-like, huh?
Sure, and he's got to answer. He'll say, well, it's so old, or it came with a car, or he doesn't know, or he'll ask you why you want to know.
And no matter what he says, he's giving me my lead-in talk.
And be sure you know the answers. Good luck, Steve.
Don't be expecting any miracles.
Doesn't take miracles, just common sense.
Pretty soon after that, I should have begun to smell a mouse. Or maybe I was just too stubborn. First, the recharges start jumping. Then we seem to be having a run on cables and spark plugs and such. Maybe I should have noticed they were mostly on Speed sales slips. Then there was the day Mr. Medbury stopped in.
That's what I like about coming here, Mac. course, it's your job to remember what I forget, and you always seem to do it.
Well, thanks, Mr. McNair.
Yes, I was beginning to believe the car was about ready to turn in. But say, with that new battery, a couple of wires, a set of plugs, why, it starts like a new car.
Yeah, sure. Sure makes a difference, you bet.
That boy of yours, he's good. Shows the training of the old master.
Yeah, sure. Good man. And about that time, I figure I better find out what's going on. Speed's busy with a lube job, and when I get close, I see him dipping in with a hydrometer. Then in less time than I can tell it, he's giving the battery cables and the connections the once-over. Then he starts for the office. Well, of course, I don't want to be nosy, but I am interested, so I follow and hear him calling Doc Bradley.
I noticed it was a little lazy in starting, so I figured I'd better check. Oh, it's nothing very serious. It's some loose connections, and the battery is down a little. By the way, Doctor, how old is that battery? Well, that'd be about 18 months. Well, it's worth giving a charge and check. Very well, sir. I hope you'll excuse my bothering you. Well, thank you, sir. That's why I'm here.
Then I see him making notes in a box of cards. Of course, by this time, I'm burning up with curiosity. So the minute he goes back to his job, I take a look-see. Well, why not? I'm the boss. I gotta know what's going on. Well, you could have knocked me down with a tire patch. There's a case history being built up on every regular customer we got. No wonder he knows how to pitch his shots. And right while I'm trying to figure a graceful way into this play...
McGowan service. Yes, Mr. Harvey. Oh, that's too bad. Well, look, suppose we send up a rental so that you can use your car while we charge the battery. Yes, sir, right away. Hey, Speed, Harvey's car won't... Oh, look, Harvey's car won't start. Run up a load, will you? I'll finish the loop job.
Sure, of course.
I noticed Speed's putting on the stall, so I figured to get out of his way. Maybe he left his radio on at the starting gun step. Fix him up, will you?
Oh, sure, Mac.
Okay. And no sooner had I got out of his way than he goes pawing through that record file of his.
June 12th. Okay, but 27 months old.
Then I see him pick up the loaner and the booster battery. I got a mind to call him on that, but then I think, no, let's see what happens. I thought about it so much I was still servicing the car half an hour later when I heard the pickup come back, and a car. It was Speed with Mr. Harvey, and anybody can see something's cooking. So I go back to work, keeping one ear cocked.
Here we are, Mr. Harvey. Now, instead of just a new battery, let's fit the battery to the job.
What electrical accessories does your car carry?
Well, radio. That's all, I guess.
Any extra lights?
Oh, yes. Spotlight, fog lights, and a trouble light. That's all.
How about a heater?
Oh, yes. And a defroster fan.
Just about the works, huh?
I guess so, now that I think about it.
Is that engine the 6 or the 8?
The big 8.
It's a husky brute, all right.
I know, but I like that reserve of power.
Yes, sir. Same thing with batteries. Now, maybe you could get by with a regular capacity, but considering the job it has to do, you really need the extra heavy-duty capacity.
Well, does that cost more?
Well, at the outset, a little more, yes. But over the long haul, it saves you money. After all, there's not much economy in putting a boy on a man's job.
You've started me thinking. How do I know this battery has the guts to take care of my car?
I was hoping you'd ask that. You see this?
Yeah?
We're kind of proud of that. That's the certification of capacity, and every Atlas carries it right in plain sight where you can see what you're getting.
Well, what's it mean? Not in technical talk, but in performance.
Well, you've heard of the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Sure. It's the top engineering brains in the automobile industry.
Oh, that's right. They set the standards for motoring performance.
Yes, I know. It's the SAE rating that tells you the power of an engine, rather than just salesman's talk.
Same thing with batteries. The SAE places ratings on batteries in the 3 most important phases of performance: zero starting, ampere-hour capacity, and charge and discharge life cycles.
Is that so? How does this battery rate?
It tops the SAE standards in every feature.
Really?
Sure thing. For instance, in life cycles, the SAE demands 269. This Atlas gives you 475. That's 177% of the standard. You can see for yourself that means longer life.
Certainly should.
The SAE demands 90 amp-hour capacity. This battery gives you 100. That's an extra margin of reserve to handle that big engine and all those accessories easily.
How about starting? That engine's pretty tough in cold weather.
Well, the SAE demands 162 seconds of continuous cranking at zero temperature. This battery gives you 192. There's your extra power for quick, sure starting on the coldest mornings.
Very interesting. Must be pretty sure of yourselves to display those ratings right in plain sight.
Mr. Harvey, Atlas goes further than that. You get a warranty in writing, backing up everything I've said. And that applies not only to capacity and performance, but length of service, too.
And if anything happens, you and I spend the rest of our lives arguing with the company. I've seen these before.
No, sir. This warranty means what it says. If your battery fails to deliver, you get satisfaction like that. Why, you don't even have to come back to us for adjustment. Just go to any Atlas station in the United States, pay for the service you've already received, and you get a new battery. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Is that so? I was just kidding you, really. Why? Well, I never heard of a deal like this. What's the gag?
Well, I don't know how to say it exactly, but we feel that if we lean over backwards keeping you happy, why, we'll keep you tied to us for all your service.
That's a doggone statement of policy I've ever heard. Just about the most convincing.
Well, I'm not much of a hand at slick talk.
You do all right. Incidentally, after I'd called for a rental, how did it happen that you brought along a booster battery that'd give me just a starting shot, enough to drive here?
Well, I knew the age of your battery, and I figured it'd probably conked out. Sort of useless expense to charge it and make you pay for a rental when you could be putting that money on a new battery.
And by giving me just a starting shot, I'd almost have to drive down and buy a battery here instead of shopping around. Or had that occurred to you?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Don't answer. Don't answer. But it is something to bear in mind, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Me, I just stood there like a guy in a trance. That kid was doing a terrific job. I made up my mind to break down and tell him what I thought. So, after Harvey'd gone and Speed came back to the lube rack...
Hey, good gravy. Haven't you got that finished yet?
Well, I've been busy, one thing and another. Hey, I see Mr. Harvey bought a new AG Atlas, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Some little bird must have told him it was about time, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, Mac, how about letting me finish that? You take that car over to Mrs. Campbell. She'll be barking like a fox.
Oh, you're right. What can you do with a guy like that? Well, I just kept my eyes open. And it really was something to watch that kid go over a car. Never lost his stride. Yet even the transients and drop-ins, the cars we didn't get for regular service, got a check of battery cables and a hydrometer reading right there at the island, all in a matter of seconds. Of course, they weren't all prospects, but every once in a while I'd hear Speed saying,
Pardon me, sir. How old is your battery? It looks a little suspicious.
Shucks, he didn't sell them all, not by a long shot, but he got more than his share. If the battery was obviously a crippled speech slug right out for a sale, but if the battery had 4 or 5 months to go...
Well, sir, if you'll give me your name and address, I'll take the responsibility of keeping you on the safe side. It's awfully easy to forget a battery until it goes dead.
Simple? Sure, and most of them went for it. Even drop-ins I'd never seen before. And Speed was piling himself up a nice bank of prospects for later on. Well, time slipped by, and every week we were doing a little better. Oh, I had knocked off a few myself, but nothing spectacular, and that was the trouble. I was itching for a chance to really put on a selling job, just to show the kid. And one afternoon, I got my chance. Joe Thompson was coming in for his car, and I discovered his battery was one of those borderline cases. Here was a sure prospect. Joe's a salesman himself and appreciates a good selling talk. I was all cocked and primed for him, and Speed was right close by. He couldn't help but overhear.
Okay, Mac, put it on the bill.
Just one thing more, Mr. Thompson. Looks like I'm going to have to sell you a battery.
Well, Mac, I've got a battery.
Ha! That's a good one. Yes, sir, you sure have, Mr. Thompson. But you can't expect that old battery to last forever, you know.
Well, it's worked all right so far.
Ah, that's just the point. Have you any idea the punishment a battery has to take?
I don't even care, Mac. It starts the motor. That's enough.
Oh, yes, but all the time you've been driving that car, that battery's been working. Charging and discharging, charging and discharging. Millions of tiny bubbles have been scouring the battery plates.
Well, what of it?
I'm glad you asked that. Now, there's an Atlas. Atlas gives you fiberglass mass, enclosing the plates and protecting the active materials from that scouring. Do you wonder that Atlas batteries stand up better?
Mac, I haven't thought anything about it.
Of course not, and with an Atlas you won't have to. Why, Atlas batteries actually top the rigid specification standards of the Society of Automotive Engineers. That's why Atlas is the choice of the greatest fleets of salesmen's cars in America.
That's fine. Well...
besides, it's that extra margin of stand-up performance that made Atlas one of the top leaders in replacement sales over hundreds of competitors. And Mr. Thompson, Atlas gained that position mostly on the say-so of Atlas users. Our owners are our best salesmen.
Mac, that's fine. I'm impressed. When I want a battery, I'll talk to you. Huh?
I'm coming to that.
Mac, look. Mine starts my motor. That's all I ask. I'm satisfied, period.
Well, okay, Mr. Thompson, you're the boss. But I'm going to keep a sharp eye on that battery of yours.
Good. Good, Mac. You do that. Go on, take care of him.
Well, okay, Mr. Thompson.
Oh, hello, Mr. Thompson.
Oh, hello, Speed. Say, what got Mac all wound up?
Wound up, was he?
The greatest outburst of oratory since Daniel Webster.
Must have been about that battery of yours.
And how?
Well, Mac's a funny guy. He seems to feel responsible if a regular customer's battery goes dead.
Well, there's a lot of life in this old baby yet.
Oh, sure. This kind of weather. How old is your battery?
Well, it's only... Let me see, I got it a year ago last December. It's not even 2 years old.
About 20 months. Well...
Huh? What do you mean, Speed?
Well, you might be able to get another month or two out of it.
Boy, it kicks over as good as new.
Sure, that's the way with those borderline jobs. It's pretty hard to tell. A month either way, especially in warm weather.
You mean some cool morning it'll just conk out?
Yeah, that's the way they go. Batteries wear out in summer and fail in cold weather at the first stiff load.
Yeah, but you get some warning.
Well, usually not much. It isn't like a tire that you can see wearing out gradually. When a battery hits the downgrade, it goes pretty fast. About 75% of the wear and tear takes place in the last 25% of its life.
Well, say, maybe Mac had something here.
And I just stood there sweating it out, wondering where my sales talk had gone sour. Wondering what Thompson thought and what was keeping him. Wondering till I gave the guy 5.5 for 5.
Mac's been after me to make up a display of these plates. They tell the story. Now, here's a new plate. This plate is 18 months old. Looks like that battery would go on for a long time, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Even though you can see the grids coming through. But look here. This plate is 24 months old. See how fast it's given out? Lucky the fellow was able to get a push home.
Well, say, this isn't funny. Why didn't Mac show me this?
Well, I'm sure he would have if you'd given him a chance. It's his favorite subject.
By the time I got through with that customer, I was so jittery I almost forgot to collect. And as soon as he was gone, I hot-footed it back to the station.
Okay, Mac, you win.
But, Mr. Thompson, let me explain.
Never mind, I'm sold. Just make out the warranty, and I'll become one of those happy Atlas customers that do whatever you said they do.
But I thought that you were...
Just one thing, Mac. As one salesman to another. The first job in selling is to convince the customer he needs what you've got to sell him.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's right, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir. On me, it would have looked good. Then one night we got one of those cold snaps, and rain, the kind of a night you hope nobody comes near the station.
Guess I better bring in the brass monkeys. Oh, go away, go away.
Hi, Mac.
Well, Phil, come on in.
Get away from that radiator. I'm about close.
You sure picked your night for making social calls, or is this a social call?
Well, it was, but since you bring it up...
Oh, boy, here we go.
I thought maybe you might want to stick your chest out a little.
You mean stick out my neck? That's what I do best.
Hey, Mac, when are you going to tell me the story back of that hat?
Oh, the hat, huh? Well, look, it was like this. One of those...
All right, skip it. Wow, how'd you like to get caught out in that?
No, thanks. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, whoever he is.
Oh, I reckon I'm cold. Why did you have to park so far away? Why didn't you get a...
I told you a dozen times I couldn't get a taxi. I didn't want to sit in the theater all night, so...
Oh, going down my neck.
All right. Car's only a half a block away, so come on, let's hurry now. Come on.
You... Hurry, I'm getting soaked.
Give me a chance, and I'm hurrying. Go. Get in. All your dress now. Open the door.
Well, do something. We can't spend the night here.
That's right, my dear, we can. And shut up!
Oh.
You know, Mac, sometime I'd like to take you on a swing around my territory.
Yeah?
Just to put over the story of your own personal experience in battery merchandising.
Yes, sir. I'll just bet you would.
You know, I've got a lot of old shellbacks on my beat. I keep after them, but I guess they just aren't as alert and smart as you are.
Look, Phil, who are you trying to kid?
I'm not kidding. Look, 6 months ago, you were just one of the boys. Now, well, the record speaks for itself. What's the inside, Mac? The real lowdown.
I've been wanting to ask you that same thing for months. What is the real lowdown?
Well, I only know a part of the story, but do you remember when we first talked about battery merchandising, how you dug in your heels and balked?
Huh, do I remember?
Well, that was the start of something.
But, operator, are you sure you're ringing the electric service shop? Somebody must be there. They've got to answer.
I'm sorry, sir. That number does not answer.
Yeah, but my car is stalled. I need battery service. What am I going to do?
I will give you information.
Oh, nuts, I give up. No. Operator, just a minute. Operator!
Sure, Speed did a good job, a terrific job. But you were in there backing him up all the time, even though you wouldn't admit it. And, maybe you both learned something.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Now, one thing more.
Oh, please, not tonight. McGowan service. Huh? I mean, yes, sir, Mr. Wadsworth. Where? Oh, yes, I'll be right over. Oh, that's all right, sir. That's our job. In fact, it's a pleasure. Why, I'd go if I had to crawl on my hands and knees.
Say, this must be pretty important.
Important? This is it. You take charge till I get back.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want to be inquisitive, but where are you going?
Mister, I'm on my way to return a hat to an old customer.